All right, welcome back, everyone. So, yeah, the last few weeks, last 2 weeks already, me and Tommy V here have been talking about a lot of this information dump that's been happening almost in a drip feed sort of way about UFOs and what's going on. And there was one other thing I wanted to bring up that Tom hasn't heard about, doesn't know much about, and I really want to talk about this with someone, and unfortunately, he's stuck with me. So Tom,
this is all new to me. I haven't heard this part yet.
There was a Freedom of Information Act request just a couple of months ago, and it requested UFO information, and what it got from the Pentagon was about medical issues. So, according to this Information Act dump, the Pentagon itself has been tracking, keeping tabs on, keeping score of certain biological effects that they have been tracking along with individuals who have UFO experiences. Now, this is going over...
Close to a UFO will get you sick.
Close to a UFO, in a UFO, or just meeting an ET, allegedly. So what they've been tracking for decades now, they've been talking in this release about burn marks on the skin, burn marks. Now, some of them are heat related, some of them are radiation related.
Radiation, yeah. The skin like peels off and bubbles up in some cases.
And these individuals have also been tracked with heart issues that start up usually immediately, if not just soon after their encounter with UFOs.
Really?
They also report having sleep disturbances. Many of these individuals cannot get a good night's sleep, some of them possibly for the rest of their lives. Now, that could be psychological. It's hard to track that biological. I'll give that one. So, of course, apparent abduction, they've been tracking this as a real phenomenon for a couple of decades now. Abductions. Unaccountable pregnancies is something that the Pentagon has seriously been studying connected to UFOs. I'll say that again. Unaccountable pregnancies.
Yeah, those horn dogs.
And along with that, unexpected disappearances of the babies still in the womb. Now, these are stories that we have heard over the years from abductees. But now the Pentagon is saying that they have enough information that they believe this is a real enough phenomenon that they have been studying. But it doesn't end there. Radiation poisoning to the body in general. Also cellular damage to individuals, and even going down to a genetic level of damage in some individuals. And cancers. Cancers have been tracked. Now, they think a lot of this has to do with a combination of the radiation off of the spaceships, as well as how it affects the electromagnetic field in such a strong fashion. Much like there's been the conspiracy for decades that people that live under those power lines, the electromagnetic field, causes them health problems and cancer problems. And these are the same things that we're seeing, only accelerated with individuals that have come in contact with these UAPs. This is from the Pentagon.
Wow.
This isn't
That's
like,
amazing.
Billy Bob Jebediah out in the field said, that his girlfriend got pregnant when he wasn't home. So it must be aliens. This isn't what's happening. The Pentagon is saying this is real enough that we have been spending money, time, studying this for decades.
Yeah.
Now, also, if you look at what has come out between the Pentagon and Congress so far alone, you look at the technologies that have been tracked by our government that they are admitting to. They are admitting to the fact that these vehicles, these legit, solid vehicles, are, as we mentioned last episode and 2, transmedium in nature. And once again, in case someone hasn't seen one of the other episodes or knows offhand, that means that these vehicles are capable of moving between space and air, and between air and bodies of water. They can function perfectly fine in any one of those mediums. And we have no technology that can understand the physics behind doing that. And this is stuff, again, all of this I'm going to mention is stuff that's been tracked, Tom, by the government for over 60, almost 70 years or a little more even. So no propulsion. These things have no physical way of propulsing themselves.
From the Tic Tac video, the Tic Tac and the those two really
Go Fast,
videos.
Gimbal, Tic Tac,
Gimbal and Tic Tac, yeah. There's not even like a heat signature there. So
no, there's nothing.
There's no, yeah.
There's no wings, there's no propellers, there's no jet stream, there's no heat signature. There's absolutely nothing. And on top of that, the way these things move, if they can move in zigzag formations without losing any, not decelerating whatsoever, which goes against every law of physics we know. If you were piloting a craft, Tom, going super fast, hypersonic, Mach 7, 8, 9, 10, some of these things have been clocked at, and then you make a 90-degree turn, it's impossible that you can do that without losing acceleration and then re-accelerating. But it's also impossible for you to physically survive that. You're going to be splattered by the inertial forces. Your body's going to be broken.
Yeah.
And these things are doing that. Immediate and that's what I'm talking about now. Immediate and instantaneous acceleration and deceleration. This is what the Pentagon, this is what Congress is saying is true. How? The hypersonic velocities without signature, which you mentioned, anti-gravity technology, the cloaking ability to appear and disappear not just from visual sights, Tom, but from weapon locks, from multiple different radars that had a lock on it at one point, and now it's all gone.
Yeah.
The point-to-point transportation, many of these have been spotted when they're being chased by our fighter pilots, that they will literally disappear from one spot and reappear somewhere else. And a lot of times, it is where the pilot's destination is. They just appear there, knowing that that's where the pilot's going to be as soon as they can fly and get up to that spot. Point-to-point transportation, Tom. Is this teleportation? Or is this literally traveling so fast that it visually appears like teleportation? But again, if they're moving that fast, why is there no sonic boom? Every bit of these technologies, we have no understanding. A lot of people say they break the laws of physics, but that's not what's happening. Anyone says they're breaking the laws of physics doesn't know what they're talking about. They're manipulating. No, not even that's right. They are using a form of physics that we don't understand. Physics can't be broken. Physics is what physics is. You either have your calculations correct or you don't. And obviously, a lot of our calculations about how things are capable of moving are completely inaccurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Tom, these technologies, I think we were talking about this in the first episode, they're going to change the world. If it gets released that our government has been backwards engineering or come into some deal or treaty with any of the aliens that are involved in this cosmic club or whatever it is, that they may have a name for it. Maybe they don't even have it. Maybe that's just a human trait to put a freaking name on everything. Maybe they don't even call themselves an empire or a federation or anything at all. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that level of technology, Tom, your daughter will probably grow up in a science fiction world, and your grandchild definitely will. 100%, Tom. You are going to be a fantasy. Your life, my life, is going to be a fantasy story to your grandchild.
I know.
How could people
We're
live like
moving in
that?
that direction.
And are we ready for this?
Well, not everyone's ready, I don't think. I think it's going to be a little bit crazy, and the paradigm is definitely going to shift. I mean, essentially, people are right when they say that if we whole cloth discovered that aliens existed and like everybody in the world was exposed to that, it would disintegrate society and culture. I mean, it would. But what we're talking about is what would rise up after that disintegration.
Yeah. The next step of our evolution.
You talk to can name a few things in our society that should be disintegrated, you know?
Yeah, let me build on your point. When I first heard about the Brookings report and its conclusion about how society would disintegrate and fall apart upon learning that there were aliens and technology and maybe they were even coming here, that we couldn't be able to handle that. My initial thought to that was yes. As a whole, I don't believe you can tell society, people, that that's what's happening. That society would start to crumble. I also, and I still do, believe that you can tell an individual. There are certain individuals that may be mentally prepared enough to accept the fact that that there are aliens here. But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I understand the disintegration of society. Because let me tell you something, Tom. I'm having a real hard time understanding why anybody has to work anymore.
Yeah.
Why do you? I mean, yes, I understand. You have mouths to feed, Tom. I understand. I like to eat as well. We both like to pay to have a roof over our heads. Yes, I'm not an idiot. I understand all that. But looking at this as a big picture, though, within the next couple of years, if this is all true, if this is all true, and we do become open to allowing society to understand we have all these technologies and they're now going to be made available, why should I bother having to go to work? Why should I bother doing that when in a couple of years it's going to be, it's almost like you think communistic society in a sense, because we're not going to have much of a need to work at all, because we'll have limitless free energy. We'll have, as I was saying in another episode, robots building robots. You wouldn't have to, there'd be very little jobs. Intellectual jobs, artistic jobs to a degree would still exist. And everything else would be just, what do you want to do? You know, like there was a recent episode, I think it was the last episode, the second to last episode of the Orville. They ended up taking on board a woman from a planet just like Earth. And it was in a previous season they met her and she became aware that there were aliens with high technology. But she couldn't do anything to tell her people about it. And they came back because she actually found tech that they left, broke it down to send a message for help. And they came to her and she's like, listen, my society, people are starving. People are dying. There's disease, there's poverty, there's corruption everywhere, and your society doesn't have it. You have to save me from this. I can't live here anymore knowing your society exists. So they decide to take her up-board, and then while she's there, she feels guilty. It's like, you know what? I got to pull a Prometheus. I got to steal this tech and bring it back home. And she gets caught, and she's explained, this is, I think is happening here, she's explained that you can't do that. That here in our world, and this is what I was getting to, though it's going off on a tangent. Here in our world, you can do anything you want. You don't have to work a job. You can choose to chase your own journey. You want to study, you want to learn, you want to build, go, do it. You want to explore with our federation, join us. You can do anything. They had to explain to her that, and this is what I think, in another episode I was talking about a society 2 or 3 that's actually in control of our galaxy and is grooming us and every other minor Stone Age society they find, is that they tried, in the show, the Orville says that they tried to give everything to a society, the first society they met that needed something, and they gave them the technology, and they watch that society burn to the ground within 20 years because they were not mature enough at a level to handle all that. That's what they've been doing to us, Tom. That's what they've been doing here. And this technology that we're seeing is the slow drip. Right, Tom? That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
So this way we don't all end up like me and say, why do we have to do anything? Why just do what you want to do? That's the way it's going to be in a couple of years. That's all that matters. It's already happening to some of us that know, look, me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is...
it's going to be... What were you going to say?
I was going to say this is a problem. This is a problem. Now, this is all assuming that they're here for something good. Are you familiar with Werner von Braun, the genius that created NASA?
I am.
Yes, the ex-Nazi, Project Paperclip, brought him over. Genius. Are you aware of his deathbed confession?
Maybe a little bit from you, but refresh my memory.
So allegedly, at von Braun's deathbed, he told the doctor that was there, and she relates this story. She's still alive. She relates this story. Told her that everything's been a lie. The Cold War is a lie. That it is falsehood generated to build up the military-industrial complex. And he told her, after Russia, the next threat to this world will be terrorists. After terrorists, you will see a threat from small third-world powered nations. And then you're going to see the final card played. And remember, it's all a lie. The final card that will be played in gelling together this long con plan for the military industrial complex of the world to take control of everything will be a military false flag operation involving reverse engineered UFOs that are made by us. Now, what a false flag military operation, Tom, is, and this has been done by militaries all throughout the ages, even right up to the modern day. This is where you fake an attack. Remember Princess Bride? He was faking an attack by Florin. That was a false flag maneuver that Prince Humperdinck was doing. So according to von Braun's deathbed, this is all a false flag. There will be no alien invasion on Earth. It will be man-made, reverse-engineered alien vessels that will be attacking the Earth. We will defeat them after a long war because that will be the plan. By the end of the war, the military-industrial complex will be in control of all of the world's major nations. They will be running things because the threat from outer space will always be imminent. It will be a constant threat that is constantly kept alive and never ended, keeping them in power. So part of me wonders if that's what's happening right now. Are they setting up the fact that aliens are real? Is Congress, the Pentagon, the military, are they setting up for the public to believe in aliens through all of these information acts that are being dumped as a false flag so that when the alien vessels appear and start firing on us, everyone will have kind of expected it in a way because Congress and the military has been telling them that it's true for a couple of years. And now, one of the things that started this, like 2 weeks ago, was the fact that it said cross-domain transmedium risks to the national security of the United States are growing exponentially. Is this the false flag prediction of Werner von Braun on his deathbed? As a way to warn and apologize for this, because it's his fault in a sense.
Yeah. And then that's the reason why they've decided to become all truthful, because that's the first step.
If the government admits that they believe aliens are real, that they have tech, that they have sightings, that they have whatever, and here is our proof to all the debunkers out there, to the Michael Shermers, to the Bill Nye, the honorary science guy, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, to all these debunkers, they are handing on a gold plate over this year and the next year, they're handing gold on a gold plate to them, saying, no, this is all real. Here is your information. And then what? Maybe a year after that, we're going to see the first attack, according to Werner von Braun.
Yeah.
And again, we've already talked about this in another episode, Tom. There's no way, no reason for an alien force that can cross intergalactic space to actually attack us in any way that Hollywood has prepared us for.
Yeah.
There's not going to be alien fighter ships coming down like Independence Day to shoot us all up. If they wanted to wipe us out, Tom, they would just maneuver a couple of asteroids to hit us. Or they would, hey, here's something. They would release some diseases on us that we eventually would succumb to. It wouldn't be ground forces and an air force of spaceships.
No, they wouldn't have to do any of that.
So if we see that happening, that is a huge red flag to us that this is a false flag operation.
Yeah.
And that also means that this is a false flag operation, Tom. That means that we're not getting this technology. They're not going to be giving us free energy to use as a society, anti-gravity, point-to-point transportation. That's going to be kept for them to use for military purposes. So if this is a false flag, we're totally screwed. If this is not, and this is actually something true, that we are going to be told the real cosmic cousins are waiting for us to calm our act down and join them, then that's great. But which way is this going? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we're probably getting near time, and I haven't looked into this, so it's nothing to actually discuss other than just bring up. But I did just this evening, before we jumped into this, notice a couple of different articles about a massive amounts of sightings that have been going on recently in Yellowstone Park with spaceships, with who knows, UFOs, UAPs.
Yeah.
And
okay,
there's
interesting.
Also a bit of a conspiracy that the government and Parks Department is keeping from us, that it's about to explode, the supervolcano at Yellowstone. And they don't want to tell us because that's going to cause worldwide panic. Because if that thing explodes, America's gone. As far as the society goes, we're a third world nation after that thing goes up.
I remember hearing about that.
And so there are some people out there
gonna be endgame,
saying that there's been an awful lot of UFO activity around there, and it could possibly be that they're waiting and watching what's going to happen.
Yeah. Hopefully to help.
I don't think their help's going to be what we think it is in that scenario. In a lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
I kind of think their version of help is they're going to be very judgy. They will select and choose certain humans up to a certain number to remove from this planet, and the rest of us. You know what? Wait a second. Whoa, Tom.
Wow.
Picture the rapture, but take religion out of it and put in UFOs and aliens. What if the real rapture that's going to happen is all the people they decide are evolved enough, or whose offspring are good enough people that their offspring can be raised in a better way to be better beings, that they are the ones that get raptured. Because so many people talk about being lifted into the UFO, and the rapture is about people getting lifted off into heaven. And the rest of us that are hillbillies, rednecks, gangbangers, hood rats, we're going to be the ones that are, quote, left behind after this alien rapture. Maybe that's what it's about. And it was interpreted by the person the vision was given to, that girl, it was interpreted as a religious experience, not as an alien experience, because she had no experience herself to even think of aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't even in my notes. That was literally right off the top of my head.
Yeah. Wow.
Sci-fi rapture.
That's interesting.
Hell, if that doesn't happen, we should write the story. The sci-fi rapture. But that's... I don't know which way it's going. I think those are the two main possibilities, Tom. I think this is either a false flag operation, which is going to doom us, or it is really cosmic cousins of us, and they're here to either rapture us or save us completely.
I mean, that's comforting if that's the case, you know.
I mean, there are so
like
many.
You said, it's the religious story,
and you take the religion out of it, and you just put a more scientific, cosmic, paint job over the whole story, and it still makes sense.
Yeah.
Almost every religious story does. See, now, and this is another thing I wonder if what they meant about the destruction of society is, according to the ancient astronaut theory, they've been here forever. They formed our societies by giving us the knowledge to till the earth and to for animal husbandry and all these skills that we needed to become actual civilized people instead of just hunting, gathering animals. They gave us all this, right? Apparently. So what if that's true? Since now it's a real possibility that it could be. What if that's true, that they are really the reason we have religion here on this planet? How many people do you think are going to accept the fact that not only their whole lives, but their families' whole lives, generation after generation going back into their family, have wasted their time believing in a religious path, when really it was just left here by the aliens to make sure we didn't kill everyone. We didn't kill ourselves. Oh, let's give them some commandments, like don't kill yourself, because we want them alive when we come back. And that's why it's here, religion. That's why it's here. I don't think a lot of religious people are going to handle that information well at all.
No, they won't.
I'm going to end this off on
one. Never be at 100%.
I'm going to end this off on one thought that's really heavy, I think, considering everything that's been told us. Let's not forget the ancient Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. Tom, if this is true, either as a false flag operation or they really are aliens, it is not even arguable. This is the most interesting time in human history.
Oh, yeah.
And
it is. I agree.
It does kind of feel like a curse, because it's Schrodinger's box right now. Is it going to be damnation with a false flag operation? Or is it going to be, are we going to get a golden ticket from our alien cousins? It could be either. We don't know. But it is an interesting time. All right. Unless you have anything else to add, Tom?
I'm good. I think we've talked it up and down.
I think over the last few episodes, we've gone over everything I really wanted to touch on about, the government releasing information. So we'll have to come back together for some more shows. I know me and Tim are going to be doing a couple episodes, and then maybe we'll get one with you, me, and Tim all at once.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
All right, but until next time, make sure everything in your life is absolutely awesome.